Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
Whether you believe it or not, this is another Arsenal podcast. We are the Away Gunners podcast, bringing you news regarding Arsenal every week. Hi, everyone. This is the second episode of the Away Gunners podcast. We've got quite a lot of people today in to discuss and maybe have an argument about the game that happened and that's about to happen. So we've got Ellen and Bob returning from last week, and we've also got Arun, who's joined us new. He's got his own podcast.
Hello, everybody. I'm Arun. I'm from Montreal. My podcast, our podcast, which these guys consider to be a rival for them, is actually called Yo Pierre. So it's named after Aubameyang. So we called it Yo Pierre. That's the name of the podcast. And thanks a lot for the shout out, Picasso.
We've also got Rohith joining us today. I don't know if he would be able to be with us for the entire duration of the show, but hopefully we could get his time a lot more than we are expecting. Hi.
Hey guys, delighted to be here. I actually wanted to, join and at least speak for like about half an hour. I loved the last podcast that you did. It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. And when I was hearing it, I wanted to give in my comments then and there. That is why I typed it out in the WhatsApp group.
All right. So to start off, so we had a really, really good first game week where Arsenal won, and we are right now top of the league. Can we just get this season over and give the trophy to Arsenal right now, and we could just go ahead and say we are the champions of England, whatever. But that's hopeful thinking. But yeah, just to get you guys' reaction on what the game week one has been about for Arsenal. Like we won against Fulham 3-0, 0-3, or should I say. So that was a really good game, but just as a game perspective, as a first game perspective, what do you guys think about it? Ellen, I would like to hear from you. What do you think about from a first game perspective?
It was a really good victory. More importantly, an away clean sheet, which was very rare in the past, and that to get that in the very first game, it was really good. The surprising thing was everybody predicted Saliba to start, but he didn't start, and still we were defensively strong. And Williams' gameplay, that was also a surprising thing, because I expected him to do this, but after a few game weeks, not at the very first game week, his influence was really good.
Yeah, Bob, you said 2-1, or you said 3-1.
No, I predicted 3-1.
3-1. Yeah, you didn't expect a clean sheet, right? So
yeah,
how do you feel about it?
I think both myself and Ellen, when we were discussing it last week, neither of us really thought it as a clean sheet, because personally from me, I don't think the defense pairing is settled yet. I can still say that maybe we got in a bit easier because of the opponent, Fulham's quality, but there were actually some defensive lapses, although it were pretty minor. Especially when Fulham were actually pressing in the first 10 minutes, you could see some openings there for them to score. They probably didn't use that as much. But yeah, I think overall the victory was well deserved, and then our game plan worked in our favor. So I think we were too strong for Fulham, which again is not a very clear barometer in my opinion. So, but the victory is definitely to be enjoyed.
So Arun, Bob has mentioned that Fulham as an opponent is not really it's okay. He's not saying Fulham are a bad opponent, but really not the elite one that we have been hoping for. So from a first game week point of view, from last year or the week before, how do you see this as a game week?
I would agree with Bob in the sense that Fulham were not the right team to actually test us. But again, it worked out in our favor because Fulham were the perfect team to test like new players, someone new in the defense and everything. And again, about Fulham, no disrespect to them, but I believe they stopped playing in the second half. There was nothing going on in the second half. They were doing a lot in the first half. They were forcing Arsenal players to make errors, commit into tackles, like commit into their runs, which I remember there was one where Katie committed. He came up in front and there was a huge gap on the left side. Similarly, there was a huge miscommunication between Gabriel and Leno in the beginning. So those were things which would have definitely been punished, even if the opposition had been a little better. A little. I'm not even talking about the quality of City or Liverpool. Talking about quality of Everton. Even if Everton had got those chances, they would have definitely punished us. But the good thing is that we were able to get over it. A clean sheet for Arsenal is like a North Star. It's a black swan event of considering all that has been happening recently. So given all that, it's a huge deal for us to start the season with a clean sheet, with two of our strikers scoring, So those were, I feel, the positives, but there are a lot of negatives to iron out. But Fulham were a perfect test opponent to start. And it's good that we're playing West Ham next. They're not, again, a top 10 team. So that's also going to be, I feel that's also going to be a good testing ground for our players. And yeah, like you said in the beginning, all of us were expecting Saliba to start. Gabriel starting was a huge surprise for all of us because we all felt that he was not match fit and all that. But he did well. He did well for his first game. I would love to see what he does against stronger opposition. But he had a pretty good game. Yeah.
This is especially considering that Gabriel was actually playing after like 6 months. I mean, he's not played at all for the 6 months as a stretch. So considering that, it's really good, Yeah.
Exactly. He looked sharp apart from the first 10-15 minutes, but he did look sharp. But Fulham is not a quality opposition, but he did come out trump. So kudos to him.
So Rohith, your points on like game week 1, what do you think of the game? And like considering what happened around us and like what has happened to us before, especially like we have always struggled against like away teams and even like smaller oppositions. You had the doubt against like Arteta's plan working against smaller oppositions. So does this kind of like soothe your senses that like Arteta's plan might work, the same back three might work against like smaller oppositions?
Yeah, I mean, it is early in the season, but it's a good start. We look good. We look supremely confident. But we did that under Emery as well, so I don't want to jump on the horse. Yeah, we'll see. But Arun and Bob mentioned that it is only Fulham. But the important thing is that last season we took 7 points from the bottom 3. So even if it is Fulham, it's a very good start for us. And I think we took like 3 points against the bottom 4 or something away from home. So yeah, so looking at all that, this is an extremely positive start, and I think we'll get better. And like Arun mentioned, West Ham next is the perfect opponent for us. But after that, it's Liverpool, Sheffield, United. We're facing like Wolves as well. Wolves and then one more tough one. I don't remember, but the next 5 games are extremely difficult. So we will have to go into those games with full confidence. And so the start is there, but we'll see.
So as Rohith mentioned, right, like our scene used to do this. Like he used to bully the rest of the table apart from the top 4 or top 6, and then win all his like games like with the rest of the table. And we usually have to have like 20 wins or so to be around like the top 4. So yeah, this is putting it into a context. It's a good win. It's a good start to the season. It gives people confidence. It gets most of our players off like with a clean sheet. The defense is more confident. With 2 of our strikers scoring, our strikers are more confident. So yeah, it gives us a boost. But like since we touched upon like this lineup, especially like Gabriel's like start, considering he has not played 6 months. So what were your thoughts on the lineup when you saw it? Like, were you, apart from Gabriel and Willian, were you surprised with something, Rohith? Were you surprised with someone?
I actually knew that Gabriel was going to start. Arteta mentioned in the press conference that Saliba wasn't ready. So I had him in my FPL team as well. So I moved him
I
out in
should
the last.
mention something here. Rohith and his insider knowledge.
That was
Yeah.
just a hunch. The way Arteta mentioned, I thought he was not going to start. And he mentioned that Saliba is very young and he will need time to get used to the league. So I thought he will not start. Uh, so I thought that the back three was very good, holding Gabriel and Tierney.
Tierney, yeah.
But yeah, so we saw Gabriel in the middle of the defense in the first game, and he was good. He was like a leader. He was commanding, and he looked very comfortable the way he passed the ball. And I know he will have much tougher forwards, but the first signs are really good. And maybe later in the season we will see him on the left side of the defense, and hopefully we'll play a back four, which Arteta that is his preferred lineup, 4-3-3, I would say.
Okay, yeah. But Bob, did you also expect like El Neni to start ahead of like Ceballos, and also like not have like Pepe or Saka on the pitch? I mean, Pepe came in as substitute, but like in a starting lineup, those two are completely missed.
Yeah, so I had a very strong feeling that El Nene would definitely start, because he actually had a lot of match fitness playing against Aston Villa, and then even in the other friendly which Arsenal had behind closed doors. So I had a feeling that El Neni might actually get the nod above Ceballos. There was actually a post as well that I read that Ceballos understood why he wasn't picked up by Arteta for the Aston Villa game, because he actually lacked the fitness that Arteta was looking for. So it was no brainer that he actually went ahead with El Neni more than Ceballos as such. With Pepe, I was slightly surprised, to be honest, because I expected Pepe to start. I thought probably Arteta would go to the preferred front three of Pepe, Lacazette and Aubameyang, to basically, bombard Fulham from all sides. But it was slightly surprising that he chose Willian, and that was the right choice in the end. Willian was the difference basically between the teams. He showed what he was actually bringing into the team, and then right from the word go, he was just there, terrorizing the defenses of Fulham.
Yeah, I know Gabriel was given the man of the match, but for me, Willian was the man of the match. He was actually. I read the stat that he had about 95% pass completion, and most of them are in the in the box. So that is exceptional.
Yeah, he had a 96.2% of pass success. he has actually exploded onto the scene. But like Arun, I have a question for you regarding Maitland-Niles. He was everywhere. He was basically everywhere in the pitch. Like there was no, like, even though the lineup said he's starting as like wing back, but he was playing midfielder. At some point, he was running beyond the forward. So what is he trying to do with Maitland-Niles, and who can do what Maitland-Niles do if he's not there? Like, can that be Saka, or like are we doing something with Maitland-Niles that cannot be replicated by other players?
I feel Maitland-Niles is the kind of player who can do anything for you. He loves playing for the club. He's Arsenal out and out. And contrary to all the reports that we heard earlier that he wanted to leave and Wolves were coming and all that, now he seems to be happy. He's kind of a settled person. Well, it's too early. It's just one game. But if you were to ask me what would a Maitland-Niles do, he does everything. Basically, he does everything, because the fluidity of the system that we're playing right now, if you notice, it's all about these short passing triangles, getting the ball out of close spaces, short passing triangles, making sure that you commit the opposition player and then get the ball up. It is in such a system that I feel a player like Maitland-Niles, he might not have an end product, but he can get you right there till that last point. So that's the kind of player you need to, like you said, roam around, move past the pitch, knowing that he can come back. It's not like he's not the kind of player, if he leaves his position, he's not going to be like completely caught out in possession. He knows he has the strength to come back, and that is working heavily in favor. So the simple difference also I find is he believes that the manager has the confidence in him. Arteta has shown him that he has the confidence in Maitland-Niles, in his abilities, of which I feel are mainly like passing, running, his strength, for a guy of his size, his strength is unbelievable. I never expected him to be this strong. The way he takes on people, you need that kind of a guy who can like roam freely, confuse the opposition, take players down, and who is also capable of coming back and tracking back. Like I said, his end product might not be great, but the stuff that he does till he gets there, like he's a right-footed player playing on the left. You expect him to cross, he's not going to do that for you. But will he keep the guy on the left quiet? He will definitely do that for you.
And adding to what Arun said, Arteta prefers him in big games. It's like he's the first name on the team sheet in big games, and one-on-one he can mark any footballer in the world. It may not be the case, but he at least gives us the confidence now that he can man mark like someone like De Bruyne or Salah, and that's something we never had. So
Exactly.
That's very encouraging for us.
Exactly, because you need it's not just about like players who send in your crosses, and it's not just about the assists. For the wing back, he should be able to defend, and this guy defends for his life. Defends like his life depends on it. So that is very important. If you ask me what a Maitland-Niles does, everything. So that is very different from say a guy like Jesse Lingard or Dele Alli. You ask what a Dele Alli does, no one will be able to tell them. You ask what a Jesse Lingard does, you don't have the answer. You ask me what a Maitland-Niles does, he does everything. He gives his 100% on the pitch.
Just to add a few things here, like if you see Tierney, right, like he started as a left-sided center back in the back three. But if you see in the game, right, he was playing like a left wing back, sometimes even as an attacking left midfielder. He was roaming around everywhere. That was mainly because he knows if he makes a mistake, there is Maitland-Niles to safeguard him. And that kind of confidence, right, like it was not happening on the right side. If you see, Bellerin was like not going that much, but like Tierney was going everywhere. That was mainly because of Maitland-Niles. And they have that good rapport. Even like the goal which Gabriel scored in the corner, right? The corner was because of Holding going for an attack there. Like, so the team now works more fluid. And people like Maitland-Niles, like, or even like say Elneny and Xhaka for that matter, the way they are like adapting to this new formation is helping everybody. It is like becoming like a total football, but not like the one which Arsene Wenger wanted to do. It is more like a structured total football that we are seeing with the team now.
Yeah, talking about like Tierney, and
if I can just add one more thing in here. I believe that the runs that AMN and KT make, if you notice for both the Auba goals, the runs that they made a huge difference in pulling the players out. So I feel that is another huge quality that they've brought into the team. You might think that, okay, KT is LCB and this guy is playing as wing back. They both are forward, so there's something going to go wrong. But the way in which they come forward, it's making sure that there's a system in place on the left side. It's very different. The same Xhaka who's playing on the left was a disaster around the same time last year. But now with the system, like I said, the fluidity in the system has allowed us to be close down spaces while these guys are making the decoy runs, I would say, and pulling the players with them, which is helping Auba score those colors, like cutting in colors from the left.
So yeah, so talking about like goals, like let's discuss about the 3 goals that we scored, right? Like Willian being a part of like almost all 3, whether it's like it's directly or indirectly, but like for the first goal especially, right? Like it was like a team build up. We were like passing around the box, and then the ball falls into Willian, who tries to shoot, and like the keeper blocks it, and then Laka kinds of like runs in and scores. Bob, so what do you think about like that goal? Like it's a poacher's goal, of course, but it's the first goal of the season for Arsenal.
See, it's a poacher's goal from Lacazette's point of view, but most of the pressing and work were actually done by Willian, and he deserved that goal more than anyone. I'm sure everybody is going to agree with that. So Willian did most of the work in troubling the defense, in trying to get a shot out, and he almost did. It was just that it was saved, and like I said, used a rebound to put it in. But that was actually one thing which I liked about Willian, or what he is bringing to the team. We've had attacking midfielders in the past, or we've had wingers in the past, but we need someone to actually, go for the kill and then have a go at the defenses, basically, to try and take the ball and keep putting pressure on as much as they can, in trying to get the ball in. So that was perfect in terms of the game plan which Villayan did. It's just a sad thing that he didn't get the goal to his credit, but yeah, I think in the end it works out in team favor. Yeah.
So yeah, Rohith, regarding the second goal, I just want to touch with you because it's a Gabriel goal. It's a Gabriel goal from a corner. That's by Willian. But the thing is, before that, like there was a mix-up between, when the game started. There was a mix-up between Leno and Gabriel. Like we were discussing about the language barrier that Gabriel might have, and that kind of showed in the first few minutes, where like Gabriel kind of like missed the whole passing back to Leno, and then like that mix up. So from that point of view, it was almost like like a confidence sapper from that, and then to score the goal like from a corner. I mean, what do you think of the goal and like the whole like Gabriel thing, like in the first half especially?
So yeah, there was that the mistake that you mentioned from Gabriel, uh, but that's where I feel that it is really good that we played Fulham and not any other side, because he needed that confidence, and later on he became comfortable, and he had like again 90 or 96% pass accuracy. He had the most touches on the ball as well. So yeah, so that is why if it was like someone like Liverpool, and if that goal was conceded, it would have been catastrophic. I don't know if he would have been the same player, because it's a new league. He needed that confidence, and good for him. And about the goal, I thought that uh, the goalkeeper did really bad, the Fulham goalkeeper. Because he basically headed it like from 4 yards or 5 yards. He should have come out. The goalkeeper could have easily come out and pawed it
He was
away.
clearly
He should have
unmarked.
done it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but maybe that's a thing that we kind of like the new dead ball
exactly.
specialist
Yeah,
coach
I
found
was
out.
going to say that. Yeah, maybe they would have done the video analysis, and they would have thought that the goalkeeper doesn't come out often, and so maybe they would have instructed the Willian to put the ball closer to the goal. Maybe that's how maybe we would have got the goal. Yeah, but I don't think this goal would have stood against a better goalkeeper. And the first goal, like you mentioned, that was really important, because I felt it was against the run of play. Fulham were really good, and we needed that goal. That goal was really important, and after that, all the players were very comfortable. And I should mention, you were talking about Tierney. I have to talk about him. He's my favorite player in the team right now. Like you can't hate
Everyone's
the guy.
with the Tesco
Like
bag, he has won us all. Like with the Tesco bag and his whole like tucking in the
he
t-shirt,
hasn't
like
had a
he's
bad game at all. Like he hasn't even made a bad move in the game, and he has faced like very big teams. So I think he will be like one of our best business in the last 4-5 years, and I'm pretty sure he'll be a mainstay for a long time. And if I get an Arsenal jersey this season, it will be the one that Arsenal wore against Fulham, and I'll get a Kieran Tierney jersey on my back.
so you're gonna make him the captain, leader, legend instead of Shaka. Like would that happen sometime?
He's definitely captain material, but that is way into the future. For now, I'm really happy that we have finally not sold our captain. So that didn't happen. So that is one more good news.
Adding on
but
to what Joe said about Katie, I feel that he's the kind of guy who would give you a minimum 7 on 10 performance week in, week out. Anything that goes beyond is a bonus for you. But he puts his life on the line, and it's a 7 on 10 week in, week out. So we need a player, considering the left-sided wing backs that we've had so far. This guy is a huge update. I think the last good player we had was Cole. Clichy was okay for a while, but apart from that, everyone we've had Gibbs. The other guys, Kolasinac, oh my God. So when compared to all these people,
You
Katie,
missed out
Santos.
Santos.
Santos, yeah, that was probably deliberate. So when you consider all these guys, Katie is a huge upgrade. And then, like I said, he's going to give you a 7 on 10 week in, week out. He's going to put his life on the line for you, especially when he's believing in the manager. It's showing more on the pitch. So I'm in love with Katie. I'm with you, Rohith. I'm in love with Katie. But
And he plays in several positions: left back, left wing back, and even left centre back. And he
he's
has
equally
excelled in all the
comfortable.
positions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's equally comfortable. Yeah, that's the most
but you
important.
guys missed one of the bigger performers of that second goal, which is Rob Holding, who just went on that juggling run. And should we get him a number 10 jersey and give him the place where he can play all those the fancy football right there. He went on that run.
Robaldinho. Yeah, he's
Yes.
coming up. It's. I'm sorry. I think I'm taking up a lot of talk time, but I
No, just
loved
go
what he
ahead.
did.
Just go
I,
ahead.
yeah, I
You and
loved
me
what he
both,
did
Arun.
there. It was it was unbelievable. I wasn't expecting that from him. Rob Holding, in my head, is a guy who's slow, uses his positional awareness. He cannot do all that fancy tricks that he did on the ball. I never knew he was capable of it. And then I see it, I'm like, is it really him? What's going on? Why is he making this run? He's leaving the back open, but he was able to go back. I mean, that shows for me, it all shows the confidence, when things are going well, when they realize that the opposition is Fulham and they're not really doing anything, they have the confidence to take these risks, knowing fully well that players behind them would take care of stuff. And again, we were able to do this because of Fulham, but knowing that Rob Holding can actually do this is making me happy and giving me a lot of confidence for our ball playing football. We're not going to be in a situation where one of our top 2 centre backs gets hurt. We're not going to be going to the likes of Mustafi. We have someone like Holding who can take care of things if things go south. So that is very encouraging, I find.
And I was surprised that he's staying. I thought he was going to Newcastle on loan. And I thought that was a good move for him as well. But it's a good thing because we don't have that many homegrown players as well. So him staying is a really good thing for us.
If you were to retain the defenders of your choice, who would you actually retain? And who would you actually ship out?
I will ship out Socrates definitely. And I will say if the other defenders let us assume Saliba, Gabriel, and Holding are the main 3. Along with them, if you want a 4th person, I will say Mustafi, Chambers, Socrates, and others. I will be ready to sell.
What about Luis?
Luis, we have extended. We'll definitely retain him. That is for an year. He is more like a mentor to this new kids. That will be his role. I don't see him as an active participant. But see, in a back 3, right? I even still say what I said last week. In a back 3, Luis is a big asset. In a back 4, he is the biggest danger we will have. So in a back 3, I'm still okay with Luis playing for us. But he will definitely be a mentor figure for these kids. So I will retain him. So out of the 7, I will sell Socrates and Chambers. But Chambers, I don't know whether people can get him because he's out for an injury for a long period. So January is the realistic option for Chambers to go out.
Yeah, I would want Socrates and Mustafi sold as well. But Mustafi is currently injured, so we can't sell him. Socrates is most probably going out. Kolasinac as well. And that will be helpful for us to get some money for our midfield players that we are looking at, and also we need to sell some non-homegrown players to make room for these midfield targets.
Talking about these defenders, right? I just want to highlight one point from the last match. after ACL, right, it was Bellerin's best performance from my point of view. Like he was really bad, like for a long period, but like that game, it was more like, see, the run was like not fast like he used to be. But other than that, right, his game was very much similar to what he was doing before the ACL. So that was one thing. And
He's trying to increase his value. PSG, Barcelona, they all
Hmm.
want him. So you need a transfer, right?
I think that's just not the case. I think like he has been growing a little bit into the role that he has been asked to do, and also like if you consider the role that he does, and like when you compare it with like what KT does or like what Maitland does, it's a completely different role. And like I think Bellerin is kind of getting used to it. And also, like if you consider Pepe and William, those are two different players who play on that position ahead of Bellerin. And also, like so, Pepe likes to run at defenders. Pepe is mostly like, even when he came on for William in last game, you can see that he was not available to get the balls right away. Like he was not available for the passes. He was not available for those 1-2s or anything on the right. He is more like a person who would like to get the ball and then dribble his way through or like do those things, which is
He's very
not,
direct, yeah.
yeah, and which is not something that's suiting Bellerin's Bellerin's image. He's still playing, Bellerin's still providing, and he's still doing his stuff. But I don't think it suits the image that like what the other wing is able to do it, because they have Aubameyang, who is available for the ball, who's taking the ball, who's doing stuff. So the the focus is on the other wing, which means like what Bellerin does kind of run like flies below the radar. I think Bellerin has been increasing he's been increasingly getting better, and he's been like a good influence on the team. I don't think that's one of the concerns that I wanted to raise. Is like if we sold Bellerin and we are with Cedric Soares, do you think we'll miss Bellerin, or do you think we will not miss Bellerin?
Oh, we'll definitely miss him. Cedric is not good enough for me. I didn't like the transfer back then. I don't like it even now. Even if Bellerin leaves, I believe Niles should be our first choice right back. And Vijay, you mentioned about Pepe, right? That he wasn't, that effective as William. But what I saw in the stats column was that in the second half, our attack, improved on the right side, and that was after Pepe came on. It was like 47% increase, and previously it was like 25%, and most of the attack was from the left. So I thought he did really well. I mean, he beat the defender very easily. Yeah, but he didn't get the goal, but I thought he did pretty well.
So, Ro, just a quick question on that. You said our attack increased about 47% in the second half of the season, but who was playing right back at
Not the
that time?
second half of the season, second half of the first game.
Post-COVID.
No. Second half in the first game against Fulham.
Second half in the first game. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry.
sorry, go
It
ahead,
didn't
Bob.
increase 47%. So it was 25% and it increased to 47%. I got that.
Okay. I'm sorry, because I heard it as like us being better in the second half post-COVID, and I just want to know who the right back at that time was, whether it was Baron or whether it was Amen.
Guys, just going back again to Maitland-Niles, I have a slightly different take, which will sound controversial to all of you. I mean, I agree that he's very versatile, and then he gives his 100% or even beyond that when it comes to playing in the games. But somehow I feel that if he is actually running sometimes without a proper position, it gives us a different dimension. Yes, agreed, but you need, I mean, say suppose, for example, if you're playing a team like Atletico or Juventus who don't give much space behind, you are just shooting yourself in the foot if you don't have any proper position, or if you have someone who is like versatile to actually keep running around like that. So maybe it's a good thing. I mean, I definitely enjoy how he is actually putting his runs through, and then how he's actually creating spaces for the team. That's all good, but I don't think that is something which I will personally look out for in every game. Depends probably on the opposition. Fulham could be, could be an excuse for him to give, and then, probably try out what he wants to do or how the manager wants him to do. But if you put the same thing for City, probably he might need to be a bit more rigid, I would think. Do you guys agree? Or yeah, what do you guys feel about it?
Yeah, but he also did the same against City, right? Like we saw that. I mean, it's not the same. He was not the same attacking person against the City, but I think his role is changing every game. Like it's not a defined role for every game. He gets like instructions based on the game, which is more like a Milner type, right? He can play anywhere. He can do anything, kind of. Yeah, Arun, go ahead. You had something to say.
Yeah, it was again the same thing about the opposition and the tactics. Like you mentioned, Vijay, if you see the City game, he wasn't attacking as much, but he was keeping the person on that side quiet. Fulham, again, no disrespect to Fulham, but it got way easier for us, and he was just like running all over the pitch. But if you ask me, will he feature in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1? No, he would not. He would not, because that's the system that Arteta eventually wants to go. And you would rather play KT on the left as a left back and Baron than AMN. Those are pure defenders. But in big games, especially consider how he's playing, he's kind of going to be our, like you said, Milner, or even I would say Welbeck. If you notice, Welbeck, when he was at United, he didn't play all these simple, ordinary games. He was always there. If United were playing a Liverpool or a Real Madrid in the Champions League, he was the first name on the team sheet. I believe AMN is going to be someone like that for us, playing in the big games, doing what he does best. Not a lot of activity like creative input, no, but putting his life on the line and saving. And as we evolve, as we are going from 3-4-2-1, as we are going to a 4-3-3, his role is going to get diminished in the team. But he's going to be like a West Brown or a Milner, coming in whenever, not starting, but coming in whenever. If you want to play someone in the midfield, he'll do that. If you want someone to play in the left wing back, he's going to do that. So it's more like the opposition and the tactical evolution that the team is going to go through. And by the time, like Bob mentioned, if we were to play an Atletico or a Juventus, we would have to be in the Champions League or pray that they come to the Europa League. I think by the time we get there, the team would have evolved so much that we wouldn't really be having the need for an AMN to do all that. I'm hoping that happens.
Why would we pray for them to come to Europa League? Like, we want to win the Europa League. Come on.
No, so we can beat their ass. That's it. We are a good team, so we can beat the shit out of them. That's exactly why we will pray for them.
That's wishful thinking and not at its best.
Come on, man. Arteta, trust in Arteta. But seriously, that's my take on this, is that by the time we play a quality opposition of the type of Atletico or Juventus, Eamon's role is going to slowly get diminished in the team. He's not going to be starting all these things. Then even if we play 3, I'm really not sure if he'll fit in. But he's the kind of guy who can do anything. So eventually, when we go to 4-3-3, he'll be coming in as an impact player, more of an impact player who can mess things around a bit. He comes in, he's like, with his runs and with his with the fact that he moves all over the pitch, he can mess the opposition plans a bit, kind of give a different dimension that the current team wouldn't be able to give. Eventually when we go to a 4-man backline.
Okay, so the next question Ellen, yeah, go ahead. You had something to add to this.
Yeah, just to add one other thing, like what Arun said, right? Like when we go to back 4, AMN will not have value. But I don't see, like even in a back 3, right? Like AMN's value will not be the same. I might be like a different person in the group, but I feel that, like, say, AMN will be more like when we play attacking teams where we want to stop the attack. Say, for example, Salah or like KDB. You want them to keep quiet, like AMN will play as left wing back. But say with the other teams, right, like even with the back 3, like once our defenders are fit, Tierney will be playing the left wing back and not AMN, because like he will give you much more solid thing. So even in a back 3, right, like say down the line, say in October or this thing, AMN will not be like playing an active role for us. But as I said, like with attacking teams like all the top 4 or the top 5 teams, right? We definitely need him because he gives a different dimension to like mitigate those attacks. And as Rohith said, like he's really good at like man marking, like 1-to-1, like big players. He's able to man mark really well as of now. We don't have any other player with that capability. So I see him as a value player, but like whether he'll start all the matches, that is a big question from my side too. And just want to add few other things like out of Bellerin, like because like we were talking about the goals, right? Like I found out 2 things like before the first 2 goals. One is like Laka, like the value he got because of that goal, like is really good. He became the very first player, like after the Premier League started in the 1992, to score the first goal in 2 seasons. A lot of people have scored in the 1 season, like who has scored the first goal, but he became the very first player to score it like twice, like which is like a big achievement, like because you don't get the first game very often. Like you don't start like say there will be some other team playing the very first game and they'll score the first goal too. So whenever we have got a chance, like he has scored, like which is like really good. And second thing is right, like if you see the free kick which Willian just misses, like from converting a goal. Normally, right, when we take free kicks, like the opposition will defend it, but like it will be like a normal defending. There won't be any specific things or others. It will be like, say, Pepe has scored some wonder goals in free kicks, but it is very rare and thing. For Willian, right, you saw one guy was like actually lying down because they were afraid like Willian can like when the people jump, like he can score down also, which means like you do it only when you are like real good free kick specialist. So opponents are fearing like the free kicks of us also because of Willian's addition, which is like a new dimension for us to score goals.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I mean, is it if they are figuring out our place, is it a good thing? Maybe in some cases, but like I want to like go ahead with the third goal and also tie it up with like Auba signing his contract extension. So Rohith, I'll put this up to you. What do you think of like Auba like signing his extension, and do you see value in it? And like especially you've seen the same goal happening like day in and day out. The same goal where he gets the ball, curls it into the corner in a game where he was not at his best. I think that Auba was not at his best during this game, and then he gets this chance and he just like, bam, that's a goal there right there. So and he has signed the contract extension too. So what do you say about that?
Be careful, Rohit. Be very careful what you say. Anything negative, I'm going to punch your guts out. So be very careful.
No. I won't be negative about this at all because he is our most important player. He is signing this contract extension. I know. Earlier in the season when it looked bad, I felt that this might not be a good deal because I thought he would be asking for like 400, 450k more than Ozil. But to tie him down to a 3-year contract, and that too when he's playing at his best, that is exceptional business by Aubameyang. And for us to convince him to stay, I know it is in some ways because it's a COVID season and he didn't have that many offers. But even then, with the offers he had, with the options he had, he still decided to stay. So that's a really good thing. And this will be the difference between us finishing in top 4 and still being in 8th or 7th. He will be the difference because, like Vijay mentioned, even in bad games he'll get you goals. Nobody has scored more goals except Salah after the hat-trick, after Auba joined. So the guy simply gives goals. Nobody else can do that. And that too, we were 16th on the chances created last season. And yet he was in touching distance of the Golden Boot. So I don't think, if I don't know why I said that it was a bad option. Now I feel horrible because we can't get a player like him in the market. That if we had let him go and tried to find a replacement, we would have to shell out like 90, 100 million. So this is an exceptional sign. I know the rivals are pissed off. So that's a good sign as well.
Had we sold him, we would have definitely not tried to go for a player of the same quality. We would have gone for someone who was worth 20 million, who'd take 2-3 years to score 20 goals, and then we'll ship him off. So, and that aspect as well. Like we're talking about Hudson Edouard and all that. Do you think Hudson Edouard can actually replace Auba? No, there's no way that he can do that. So, I seriously don't believe we would have replaced them properly, and we would have been in deeper trouble had we sold him. So that
Yeah,
way,
and we've been doing some good deals, in the recent past. Tierney, for example, was a superb sign. Now Aubameyang staying, and the Martinez, the way we sold him, he played like 10 good games. He was a very good goalkeeper, but he played 10 good games and we got 20 million for it. That's really good business. It's not like 3-4 seasons ago where we would have sold him for like 6 million, 7 million. That's what we used to get. I used to be jealous of Chelsea because they used to sell Deadwood for 20 million. But we are being shrewd in our business strategy now. That's a good sign.
I would even add selling Lauren Koscielny for a fee to Bordeaux because I think it looked like we are not even going to get a penny because he actually had an agreement and all those sort of things. And even with that, I mean, we were able to get some money for him is good thing.
Bob, we don't talk about Lauren Koscielny, especially after that video. No, we don't. We
don't talk about Koscielny. We don't talk about Giroud.
No, we don't talk about those people. But on the topic of Martinez, I want to get like Ellen, because last time he was more on Martinez camp than Leno's camp, and I want to check with Ellen what he feels about selling now. Like now that he's sold, and like I want to.
No. I was on Leno's camp. I said we'll have to start Martinez because we need a leader at the back. Like say with the assumption both of them will be there. Like with the youngsters coming as defense, I said we'll have to start with Martinez. Even though like I agreed Leno will be our number one. But selling Martinez is like the best business. But like there is one catch here: the replacement goalkeeper whom we are thinking we are signing, right? His stats looks worse than Kepa. And Kepa is the worst player worst goalkeeper in our Premier League itself. But like this new goalkeeper stats looks worse than Kepa. But I'm not sure like whether it's for a long season or whether it is for short. I have to do some analysis on that. But like the initial impact is what I get for the new goalkeeper, which we are thinking to sign. Like it has not yet happened, so it could just be a rumor too. But it looked bad than Kepa.
Okay,
I think he's going to be like a third choice, with reports coming in that Matt Macy wants to leave. And given how much we got him for, I believe he might be a third choice goalkeeper than a second choice. I think we might bring in someone who's old, like past 30, and not a first choice anywhere else. We might get someone like that for a second choice. Because this guy, like Ellen said, his stats are not bad. They're bad.
We can't sign any more non-homegrown players, Arun. So I don't think we are getting anyone else. So it is going to be this guy on.
Okay, then let's put Leno inside a concrete box and make sure that he never gets injured. I guess that's all.
Or maybe bring back David Seaman. What do you say, Bob? Bring back David Seaman for one more, out of retirement to play for Arsenal one more time.
I would even say go for Lensman.
Yeah.
But he's not homegrown. Like we could bring in like Seaman saying that he's English, so something like that. Will we get that?
We could. I really wanted to appreciate Emiliano, for the video that he had actually posted in our Arsenal website. That was a class act, I would say, really, because that guy, I mean, none of us have seen him play that much because he's been on loans for several long time. But the respect he had towards Arsenal as a club is tremendous, and it's hard to find people, players of such mold these days. Even when they know they are going to be leaving, they made sure that they sit along and then they talked out as to why they're making that choice, and then to make it come on to our website is, I mean, I really appreciate that. I just wish that guy the best of what he could get. Just like how we all wished Fabianski should do well when he left Arsenal, you know, that's the same exact feeling that I'm getting as well for this guy. Yeah.
Talking about Fabianski, we are against him in the next game, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
So yeah, so let's jump on to the next game actually. Like,
Vijay, I will have to drop off.
Yeah, just give
I'll
your
talk to you.
predicted score line for West Ham, and then you can leave.
It's going to be 3-0.
Okay.
Auba
Bold one.
brace.
Auba brace. Okay. We're going to hold you on to that. Thank you for joining, Rohith. And it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Yeah.
So let's continue with our Rohith. So regarding the next game, what do you see as the predicted lineup? Especially like I want more information on the midfield, because we have not talked about it. Not just us. None of the pundits, none of the reports after the game has actually talked about the midfield of Arsenal, with both Xhaka and El Neni first, and then like when Ceballos came in. So the midfield has been kind of like the engine has been churning. It has not been spectacular, but it has still been working. So Arun, what do you say about the midfield? Like, do we continue to the next game with the same pairing, or do we bring in Ceballos, or do you see some kind of change there?
To be honest with you, I wasn't expecting El Neni to start, and I was very surprised by the shift he put in. I've never seen him play like this for Arsenal, and all the time I've seen him like he came in a while ago. El Neni is the kind of player who is going to be like unspectacular. You know, he's not going to do anything great, but he's just like I would say 6 on 10 player, which will definitely go like below 6 most of the time. So, do I trust him? No. Do I trust him given the opposition? Is West Ham? Maybe not. So I'm still not convinced with El Neni. I would say we should be starting Ceballos just because of the dynamism he provides, and it's a more tested pairing, I would say, than Xhaka and El Neni. You know, Xhaka and Ceballos have been playing together. Ceballos has been really good since like he was not a part of the team. He was not starting and all that. He came back. He's come back really good. He's putting in like really good shifts. So for me, I would always prefer Ceballos to start with Xhaka unless we change formation. But the role that El Neni played was really good. But again, he was not being tested at all. I found like their midfield, Fulham for some reason, like whatever they did, it was all bright right in the beginning, but right after that, it tapered off completely. El Neni wasn't really tested. So my comments on El Neni, no, I don't think he's going to be someone that we can rely on. Like if there comes a situation where we're not able to get Partey and we're happy with just El Neni be playing that role, then I'm pretty sure that we're going to be ending up like not even 5th again, like maybe like even 6th, because you need the kind of player, and El Neni is definitely not the answer. He might be good, he might have put in a good shift, but in the long run, do I see him playing the same role in PL, in the league, week in, week out? No. But for the game against Fulham, he was pretty good. Again, their midfield, I don't think they really did anything. So.
But talking of Ceballos, what about the video of him and Nketiah fighting? Yeah, Bob, do you have a comment on that?
No, I was just going to mention, Arun, there's a small caveat with Ceballos Xhaka combo. I read in reports that Xhaka received a treatment on the field during the Fulham game, and there is a possibility that he might be missed out due to injury. I'm not sure how true it is, but there is just a caveat that we could potentially see Ceballos El Neni combo as well in the midfield. So better be braced for that.
Yeah, as long as it's not against Liverpool or City, I would happily play like even El Neni, El Neni against these teams like Fulham and West Ham. So
Ellen,
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, Vijay. Like as you said, right? Like since Our next opponent is West Ham, right? I'll still go with Elneny and Xhaka. Mainly, the thing is like the issue that happened between Ceballos and Nketiah. See, the thing is like I'm happy like Ceballos is upset that he's not able to start matches, which shows his anger. But the catch here is like for that you should not go and injure your other player, or you should not play in such a way like in the warm up, which was not at all right from him. So discipline him, right? Like it is better we doesn't start him for the next match again based on the opposition, and we can start him for Liverpool. Like if you ask match by match basis, like Ceballos is better than Elneny, and I'll start with him. But for the next match, I don't want him to start because of that disciplinary reason. I want Elneny to start the next match. And as Bob said, like if Xhaka is injured, like we might see both of them playing.
But no one's seeing Guendouzi come in. Come on, why are we freezing him out? Right?
Hold on. All of you guys are being TMZ now. You're just talking about the fight between Eddie and Ceballos. Did anyone mention about the photo that they posted after the fight, that everything was fine, things are back to normal? I think we're just making a big issue out of this. It's nothing. Like it happens in the training ground, but the very fact that they were able to get back together is good for the team. You know, it's good for the squad, good for the morale, and it also shows it was just like that moment of passion. So don't be TMC, guys. Come on.
But the thing is, the thing is like, okay, so Bob, 1 minute. So the thing is like that photo came about after this whole thing has been circulated in the media. So Arsenal fans were circulating the whole thing where there's a bust up, and then there's this photo coming up with like, or video coming up with like both of them saying, yeah, it's all been good and fine. Maybe it is a PR stunt. Like you will know better, Arun. Like maybe it's like a marketing thing where they are like, okay, let's put Arsenal back together. Like
honestly, I still believe, because if it was, I still believe that it's like a training. You know, it's just something that happens in the heat of the moment, like a passion thing. Because you see both the tackles that he did, like Ellen mentioned, it was not something that you normally see people doing on the training ground. But Ceballos went full in, you know. So it's something that happens. You know, we've seen bigger fights than this on the training grounds, and then people like coming back. Even the dressing room fights are crazy. Like we've seen every player do it, every manager do it. It doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. So for me, I would like to see just a positive, even if it is a PR stunt. They did manage to get both of them together and smiling in the same photo, right? So that for me is a big positive. So it's not like I'm just trying to see the positives of the season, but I believe it's just like, you know, the very fact that they were able to do it right away was something that, whether it was Arteta telling them to do it, whether it was a club telling them to do it, they did manage to do it. So I just see that positive.
Okay, Bob, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I would completely agree with Arun on that. I mean, things just get heated up in training grounds all the time. It was just that, you know, this incident in particular was caught on camera, and then, you know, people were all talking about it. If not, there would have been like so many incidents that would have easily happened in a training ground that we are not aware of. So this is just, I mean, part of the game and part of how they train. I've seen this happen to you know, a lot of mates as well. So, and even with Arsenal Football Club, there's numerous incidents that I could recollect which has happened between players. So I think that's something to just move on. You know, I mean, things just get heated up at times, which is usual for a sports person. So you just have to move it on. I don't think that would be enough reason for Arteta to drop Ceballos. That's for sure, that I can be sure of.
Okay, so let's continue with the lineup then. So we are going for the same back four, are we, or back three, are we? We are going to play the same back three. Is that what you're thinking, Bob?
I think we would stick with the back three, and I most certainly would think that he would choose the same back three in Tierney, Gabriel, and Holding. So yeah, all of them would retain their place as such. Having said that, pretty much I believe that the entire team is from Fulham game is going to be retained for the West Ham. I don't see any inclusions except for the fact that if Xhaka misses out due to injury or something, then Ceballos might actually come in. But except for that, I see the same starting 11 for the Fulham game. I mean, into the West Ham game as well.
Okay, Arun, what do you say to that? Do you see the same starting 11, or do you see Pepe coming in, or maybe Saka coming in, or maybe Suarez coming in?
Before I start on that, I just want to talk about Guendouzi, who you mentioned. You know, when we were talking about the midfield pairing, you did mention Guendouzi. When Guendouzi came in, I was a big fan just because of the passion he scored. Remember, like when Auba missed that goal against Chelsea, the passion that this guy showed on the pitch was something that we had not seen in a long time. So I was like, okay, this guy's going to be future captaincy material. But now I'm trying to fit him in the midfield. I'm not able to. Like I don't know what his role is. You know, like he's someone who thrives on chaos, but that's not someone you want to start. Like when there's chaos and when you need to get a goal in the last 10 minutes, you bring Guendouzi in and he's going to mess things up, you know, do something like that. But is he going to start? No, he's not going to start. So unless, like Bob said, unless Xhaka misses out, I see Xhaka and maybe Elneny starting again. Though I really don't want Elneny to start. I think he's going to start again. But apart from that, I think the team pretty much picks itself. Like everyone put in a good shift. Everyone had a really good game. The only person that we want to integrate at this point into the team slowly is Saliba, given that Gabriel is already starting. So I see us playing the same team without any changes, unless it's a forced one. And I think Saliba might make an appearance at the end if we do have the substitutes and if we're in a comfortable position. I see him coming in at the end at the expense of like maybe one of the defenders or even like Ayman or KT giving them a rest. But apart from that, the team pretty much picks itself. I think Willian did not put a foot wrong, so I don't see why he should be taken off from the right. And yeah, the rest of the guys did do well. So like Bayern too, he put in a great shift. So I don't see why we should be replacing anybody. And definitely not Guendouzi.
So, Ellen, are you going to agree to this? Like, both of them have said that it's the same.
Yes, it will be the same 11 unless there is some injury thing. But whatever Arun said, I will contradict that. Like, we will not see Saliba on that day. The reason being, 3 days from this match, right? Or 4 days from this match, we have a match with Leicester City, the Carabao Cup. So all our non-playing people will play that match. So the next weekend we'll have another Premier League match. So it's going to be like back-to-back matches. So I don't think we will not give any chances or anything. We'll just stick to our game plan. And the Carabao Cup will be the game where the other people who haven't got chance will play their matches. So we will go with the same 11 and even the substitutes, we might not do much unless it is necessary. It might be a very late time just to give some rest or some appreciation for few people.
Okay, so to wrap it up, let me put you on the spot for a predicted scoreline. Ellen, what do you say?
No talk about the Aubameyang contract? I mean, why are you missing that?
Okay, I mean, I think there's not much to talk about it. I mean, we have been expecting it. We have been.
I want to add one thing on that though. Even though there's not much to talk about, the video they released, right? That had one important message for me. During Emery's turn, it was group of captains, or there were lot of chaos on captain. This video clearly, even the last few months, we were clear that Auba is the captain, but they made that clear in that video. He is our captain, we follow him. That was the message I got from that, and that was a good PR exercise actually, as well as because to the team it might be known already, but to the outside world to say that was a very good thing from our PR guys.
Okay, Arun, you want to add something to the excitement?
I know this podcast is not going to have any video, but you can see the smile on my face when I talk about Aubameyang. So this was something that brightened my whole day yesterday. We all knew it was coming, but then the minute he signed, the PR move that the club made, and the very fact that the things he spoke about in that move, it was genuine. I find it was genuine. If you do not really love the club, if you do not really believe in what's going on, it's not just about the money. He had offers from Inter and Barcelona, clubs that are definitely in a better position than us, and he would have gotten a chance to play with Messi. Not many people let that go. He let that go, which meant that he actually believed in us and he believed in the direction the team was taking. So when you have your best player, we used to captains leaving, when you have your best player probably the best player in the league, sign in and buy in to the manager's vision and what the team is going to be doing, that gives a lot of confidence to not just the supporters, but also the rest of the teammates, because everyone acknowledges that he's the best player in the team. Even if you notice the Instagram live, people who are commenting with guys like Reece Nelson, Lacazette, and they were all Joe Willock, they were all saying my captain, you know. So that's something that we've not really seen, or the PR department has not really shown us in all these years. So that for me is pretty big, and it's not just about now, it's about what is going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years with him being in the team. So in that sense, it is huge. I would say it's better than even the Mesut Ozil signing that we did. At that point, that was the biggest signing that we've done. But just this extension, I believe, is going to be having a bigger value for the club moving forward, you know. So there, man, I'm getting a jersey. Yeah, I'm going to order a jersey. 14, I'm getting a new one today.
Bob, so are you going to get one?
I think, yeah, of course, yes. No doubts about that. See, like every other fan, of course, I mean, I was as well overboard with the news that he signed the contract. And I actually watched interview as well that he did with Righty. The thing which he really, which clicked me there, what struck him out, especially as a captain, is the fact that he loves to share. He genuinely enjoys others scoring. When you look at, I mean, he is not someone who actually loves to score and he wants every ball to, to come to him for him to score. He mentioned that as well. So if at all, I mean, if he looks at Lacazette taking a shot example, he knows that Lacazette in his mind that he has got a best chance to score a goal, and which is genuinely, which I like about Obama, more than anything, seriously, that guy really enjoys what he is doing, which makes him, one of the better players that we have ever had in the recent times. And yes, it's definitely much better news than how I genuinely felt when I saw the news of Ozil signing in a contract extension. But when I think from a fickle minded perspective, I felt probably I shouldn't go overboard with this contract extension, because we all got excited when Ozil signed his extension, but look what is happening now. So it's almost like an impasse that we've reached, where none of us could actually find any solution, or there is no way forward from the looks of things. So let's keep our emotions in check. Let's keep enjoying his goals as long as they come in, and let's keep him happy. So as long as he is happy, he's going to be delivering the goods for us for sure. So I'm just hoping that the team performs to the level that we should be doing, and then we just keep doing the right things, which is good for the team as well as right for the players.
All right. Yeah. I just hope that it works out, and he mentioned in his video that he wants to be a legend of the club. So I just hope at the end of 3 years we as fans sing one more year at least. So yeah, and he retires here.
He's going to finish his career at the Emirates.
I hope so.
I said it.
I'm gonna hold you to that, but yeah, that's hoping that he finishes his career here, and we have not had a lot of players finishing their career at Arsenal of late. So I just hope that we have a captain who has given us something to finish his career with us in future. But yeah, but it's been a long pod, so let's just wrap up with the prediction. So Ellen, your prediction was 3-0, is it?
No. Like last time I predicted 3-1 against Fulham, like thinking Mitrovic will start. He didn't start and we got the clean sheet. And I was like little bit spot on. Like I said, there was a goal from Auba, Nikitia and Olding. Laka started instead of Nikiting. He scored, and with the set piece, like Gabriel scored. But this time it is not calculated.
And Holding's dribble is as good as a goal. So I'll give that to you as well.
This time it is not like a calculated guess like last time. This time it is going to be like a 4-0. The entire team will be like playing at a higher level because of Auba's contract extension. So I expect a 4-0 with either 2 or 3 goals from Auba.
4-0. Wow. Okay. That's a very, very bold prediction. Rohith said 3-0.
Yeah, I said that this time it's more from the heart, not from the mind.
Okay. Arun, what's your take? What's your prediction on the score?
We'll let a goal in. We'll definitely let a goal in. So I think it's going to be 2-1 or 3-1.
Okay, I'll hold you to 2-1 then. So, Bob, what's your prediction for the scoreline?
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry. I too would go for 2-1. I think there might be a goal coming in from either Yarmolenko or Haller.
Antonio.
Yeah, so there is definite possibility that they will concede a goal, from what I think. But yeah, I don't think it would be a heavy scoreline as such. So I didn't really. I mean, I was reading the reports in terms of how West Ham played against Newcastle in their first game. It was pathetic. I mean, I saw the highlights of that game as well, and then as well, I followed the commentary for how West Ham played against in their Carabao Cup game. It was 2 contrastingly different teams, and one which worked, which was the Carabao Cup game. I believe Moyes would actually stick to that players, because surprisingly against Newcastle, all the big money signings that West Ham has ever had, they were all on bench, which didn't probably work in their favor. And when they actually came on as substitutes, they probably didn't have enough impact as what they should have. So I believe Moyes would try to put them into the starting 11 for the Arsenal game, because he knows how tough it is. And I feel they will still get a goal from there. But yeah, we will still go on to win the game. But my prediction is 2-1.
All right. So Rohith got back. Rohith, so you want to add something before we wrap this up about the game against West Ham?
Yeah, like I predicted, I'm going to stick with my prediction. It's going to be 3-0. I mean, it was. I think that the set piece expert has done a really good job. So I don't think we'll concede, and I thought that was the only way we will concede against West Ham. So we will get a clean sheet.
Okay.
So, and I hope we finally beat Liverpool. We become the first team to beat them at Anfield in 2 years. In game week 3.
We were very close last year in Carabao Cup.
Right.
Carabao Cup is not
but
a
that
big deal.
won't
We need to do that in the league. Yeah.
That won't count because Atletico Madrid already did it in the Champions League. So we are talking about the league here.
All right. That's a prediction for another day for Liverpool. But I believe that we would not concede in the game with West Ham, and I believe that we will be scoring at least 2 goals. So my prediction is a 2-0. So thanks everyone for joining in. This has been a really, really good pod, and hope we win and catch you guys next week. That's the end of the pod. For more Arsenal content, please like, subscribe, and share it with all your friends. This is the Away Gooners pod. See you next week.